Hello, everyone. So it's been a few since I've listened to anything that's going on in these YouTube streets until last night and today. So I wasn't in the loop on what was really going on. Got to take those breaks, right? Um, I was doing my own thing. I've been doing some. I said I was going to do some uh, paint pour, and I did. I'm uploading those videos, and was it a mess and interesting? But, anyways, I am getting those out. Don't know why, because it didn't turn out like I wanted it to. They're kind of long, but, anyways, I am uploading those. And I'm kind of, put out, one video, and I'm going to do another one on Ari. And I was doing my Leticia video, or little series, I guess you want to call it, or whatever. There's rumors going around that she might have delivered her baby. She might have been picked up, put in jail, or maybe in the hospital. Just don't know. But like I said, I just kind of took that little break from this drama circle. And, I don't get to catch a live that often. Sometimes I get lucky and I am, but most of the time I catch replays. And when I'm able to catch a live, um, normally I can't stay for a long period of time. I'll chat a little bit, and then I got to get going. Um, because I got a lot of things I got to do, and I do work too. So in my free time, I got things I got to get done around the home. Um, and I do try to, put out, my own videos as well. And even though they're pre-recorded, I listen to them, and I got to upload them from my gallery to YouTube, and it takes forever because I'm still too lazy to get into, going live and all that good stuff. So I still got to do that, right? I still got to get in that mode. But anyways, I'm not here to talk about that. I was listening to some, like I said, last night and today, and I still don't know what all is going on, but we are going to cover a couple of things. And that's going to be the first one I'm going to talk about is Natasha and Noodle Mash. I heard some pretty nasty things going on. And I have to say that I have been a sub to Noodle Mash since she came around. I think it was, back in February. Um, I liked her crafts. I liked what she had to say, and this was before she joined Natasha's community. And even after she joined Natasha's community, I've always stayed a sub to her. Now, I haven't, I would chat here and there or make comments. I think I've caught a few of her lives just a little bit, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember a lot what I've done, so I don't know how people expect all these creators to remember what they have said in every single live. I mean, I can remember a lot of things I've done back in high school, but I've said before, I lose my keys and my phone on a daily. So go figure. I don't know if it's old age or what, but I know I've made comments, on her community posts before, and I do believe that I have caught a few of her lives, uh, way back, and I might have been in there and said hello and, stuff like that, but it's been a while. but I'm still a sub to her. And I think I've always been, you know, from the beginning, because I like watching her do crafts and I like listening to her talk. She does a lot of talking about mental health issues. I don't care whose community she belongs to. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care whose community anybody belongs to. Now, if some people, I do have to say this, if some people, if their morals really clash with mine, I mean, people are going to clap back and they're going to be raunchy a lot of times in the drama community, okay? And they're going to say things that we don't like, and we're not always going to agree with creators and subs and stuff like that. That's going to happen. It doesn't mean that we don't like, you know, some of the creators and we don't like what they are putting out there at all. It just means that sometimes we don't like what they have to say, or, you know, some of the subs, we might not like what they have to say sometimes, but some things we can overlook, if that makes sense. But there's some people, some of the things that they stand for and they condone are so bad that no, sorry, I can't stand up for that, okay? So if that makes any sense, there's just some things that, I can't stand behind that, and it's just too low for me. And that's just my personal opinion. Like I said, I don't know if that makes any sense, because there, you know, a lot of people might not like what I have to say at times. They might not like when I talk about a creator that they're loyal to, because I do talk about behaviors, right? There's a lot of people, I'm sure, that they might like a creator, but at times they don't like what they're putting out there or don't like what they're saying, but other times they really enjoy them and enjoy their content. But there are some people that they go so low that, you know, I can't support that, and I just can never stand behind that. That's just my opinion. But moving along from that, what I don't want to make this video like so long, so I just want to dig in. We all know that Natasha and Noodle Mash had a little falling out because she had people come in her chat that Natasha does not like, and I guess they talked stuff about Natasha, said things about Natasha. I'm not going to say who they are. Okay, we all know. And Noodle Mash is still kind of new, kind of like me. She came in this circle in February. I did in December, even though I have been watching, okay, different creators and stuff for almost 4 years since the Watts case, right? Well, it has been 4 years now, right? Yeah. Maybe not just the circle, but a lot of, you know, the Watts community, all the communities, whatever. So, she would not know all of the ins and outs and who's and what's and whatever, you know, everything that has been done. She might know some things, but she wouldn't know everything, because, you know, she just came February. I'm not sure exactly when she joined Natasha's community. But she always said from day one that everybody was welcome in her community, right? As long as they were civil. That's how I am. I have people from everybody's community. And as long as you're civil, you're welcome to be here. I don't have a community, so that's a little bit different. I didn't want to have a community. So now when she joined Natasha's community, it probably changed a little bit because now she is in a community. So it had to change a little bit because we know how Natasha is. So, but the thing is Noodle Mash still had, even when she joined Natasha's community, she still had people in her chat that did not like Natasha and made it clear that they did not like Natasha, but that they respected Noodle Mash and they would not talk about Natasha at all. I seen that with my own eyes. And they respected Noodle Mash saying Natasha is my friend. I understand, but there will be no bashing, no talking about my friend. And they respected that. See, they liked Noodle Mash for Noodle Mash, not for who she was friends with. They liked her for her. Even though they didn't like Natasha, they respected Noodle Mash. Okay? They liked her content. They liked her crafts. They liked her talking about mental health because she has put it out there that she has mental health issues and she is a survivor of suicide, okay? And she talks about that. And so a lot of people liked her for her, not for who she's friends with or what community she belongs to. So that has always been a thing. There's been people in her community that does not like Natasha from day one and even when she joined the community. As long as you're civil, no bashing. Noodle Mash is always stuck up for Natasha. Now, back to this falling out. When Noodle Mash found out, knew all of what was going on, I guess she blocked this person when she found out, exactly, what Natasha had to make it public, like she always does. And then she said, I guess Noodle Mash contacted her upset. She didn't want to lose her friendship with Natasha. She didn't want to lose her friendship with all the other people that she met in this community. And she contacted Natasha. And I guess Natasha, of course, had to wait, let her wait it out. She did not respond back to her. That's, that's Natasha. That's the way she handles things. And I guess she forgave Noodle Mash after, we heard what she had to say because, she's got to go public with everything. Instead of just doing it behind the scenes, it's got to be public. Well, when you do that, then all of your followers already get a bad taste in their mouth towards this other person, and that's what we've seen. We've seen people already saying they were unsubbing to Noodle Mash, okay? That they side-eyed her. They didn't like her to begin with, that she's boring, that they knew that this was going to happen, that she betrayed Natasha, that she should have known about this person, just on and on and on. I seen it in the chat. We've seen this all before with all these other people that have left Natasha's community, right? We've seen it. But here's the thing. Noodle Mash didn't want to leave. She still wanted to be a part of this community. She was hurt. She took all the blame. All of it. Every bit of it. She was upset. She said she was crying. She took this to heart. Now, she already said she's got, mental health issues, and this couldn't have helped any at all. And you've got all these people that are supposed to be her friends or whatever. They're already talking mad shit about her in chat. Just like we've seen before with everybody else, right? That had a falling out with Natasha. They say how much they love somebody and they care about somebody until Natasha says, I don't like them anymore, never did, blah, 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 blah. Then they all follow it in line. Oh, we never did either. You know, we pretended, whatever. So they're talking about her. They're unsubbing from her. Well, then I guess they worked out their differences, and Noodle Mash comes back in to the community, but it looks like a lot of people might have had her blocked, because they're still talking mad shit about her. And she's in chat. She's back in the community. And she did lose, members and subs and stuff like that. And I could just imagine how she feels, because all this was played out in public in the true Natasha fashion. So I don't know. To me, that's not a good community. I'm sorry. It's not. You can't make up your own damn minds. You have to follow the leader. Because I know that a lot of the people that truly like Noodle Mash and like what she has to put out there and like her crafts and stuff like that are only saying that they don't because their leader is saying they don't, and they want to belong, because they don't belong anywhere else. They can't belong anywhere else. So they want to stay in this community. So in my opinion, they're just going to say what everybody else says. So they're going to throw Noodle under the bus to stay in the community. That's my opinion, solely my opinion. No one has to agree with me. But here you have Noodle Mash in this community and trying to be back in, and it had to be uncomfortable. It had to be, knowing that a lot of the people have talked mad shit about you. They have you blocked. They left your community. It just had to be uncomfortable. It really did. But she did it, and she owned everything, like I said, put all the blame on herself, cried the tears, for a woman that is on the internet that she's never going to meet, who she wanted, this friendship with, who she really cared about, okay? And all these other people who she thought she made this friendship with on YouTube. So now there's another falling out. I'm not going to get into all that, except Noodle decided that she was going to leave the community. She literally said that she was petrified. She was scared of doing the wrong thing, of having the wrong person come in chat. That somebody might come in, she might not know that this person drug Natasha in the past, or maybe in someone else's chat. She might not know who they are, and a screenshot would be given to Natasha, and then all this stuff happened again. So she said she was basically walking on eggshells. No adult should have to walk on eggshells for another adult, especially someone you don't know. I had to do that with my ex-husband. Hell to the no. I'm sorry, okay? No one should have to do that for anybody, let alone a damn stranger. Come on, give me a break. But anyways, she decided that she's just going to leave the community. So she reached out to Natasha, I guess, privately or whatever, and, basically in a nice way, and, you know, good luck. This is what I'm going to do. And of course, you know, it caused a bunch of chaos because some of the people that were in Natasha's community were modding for Noodle Mash. That happens. People, you know, when you share mods, or when you're friends with another creator, sometimes you share subs like, you know, the other creator too. In my opinion, and this is just my opinion, Natasha thinks her subs are hers. They belong to her. She built them. She owns them. Whatever. That's just my opinion. She says they can go wherever they want, but if they do, don't come back. If she has a falling out with somebody. But she has a falling out with people on a regular basis all the time. Everybody. I'm surprised she has I can't tell you how many people she's had a falling out with since I started back watching again, since the Gabby Petito. Now, I was watching, you know, way before that. People know, if they watched my videos from when she first came back on, started her channels on YouTube back in November, okay? The November from Facebook to YouTube. And then I took that long break and didn't watch any creators for the longest time, have no clue what she did. But she has more falling outs than anybody I know. There's a common denominator there. I've said that before. Okay? There has to be. It can't be everybody else. That's my opinion. Sometimes, yes. Sometimes, yes. We can't put all the blame on her. Sometimes, I'm sure that other people do some nasty things, but she is the one person that has the most falling out, and then she has to take it public. And we'll save that for another video. I've already talked about this. And anyways, back to Noodle Mash. She decides, for, you know, basically, in my opinion, for her own mental health, so she doesn't have to feel like she's walking on eggshells, or that, you know, she can go where she wants to go, and she doesn't feel like she you know, she's got her own channel. She can have who she wants in, whatever. She's still not going to allow people to bash Natasha. She's not going to talk bad about Natasha. She is not going to body shame or call her names like we have seen other people do when they leave. Now, Natasha does it to them because she puts all their personal information that they told her. She does. That's a fact. All right? We're talking about truth here. It's a fact. Now, Noodle isn't doing that. She is not doing that to Natasha. And she's telling people, don't be bashing her. I don't want, you know, I don't want that happening in my, you know, on my channel. She's still, you know, saying that. She is one creator that left, had a falling out or whatever, but she's still saying, I don't want that happening. Even though Natasha is being very nasty to her. She's not doing the same back. She might be doing lives talking about, you know, what happened or what's going on, but she's not being ugly about it. There's a difference. Okay? There's a difference. This is the drama circle, okay? And yes, drama sells. Say that over and over and over again. But there's one thing to clap back, and there's another thing to be an absolute bully. And Natasha, from what I listened to, she is being very nasty to Noodle Mash, okay? She, I'm just waiting for her to body shame her and talk about her looks. Now, she's already, from what I heard, she's talking about her channel, okay? She says she grew her channel off of Mrs. Portland. Now, at this time that Noodle Mash started talking, you know, when she first came, she was talking about Mrs. Portland. This was right when Natasha was having issues with Mrs. Portland because it was right after her aunt passed. And Mrs. Portland was being very ugly and nasty. We all know this, right? And we know that Natasha did not do anything wrong. She was dealing with her grief, no matter what anybody wants to say. Natasha did not do anything wrong to Mrs. Portland at that time. She didn't even clap back right away. She waited because she was dealing with real life things. And Mrs. Portland was going on and on and on and being very vile. And then when Natasha did get on, she did get very nasty about Mrs. Portland, and she did body shame her, and she did make fun of her. She didn't just clap back, she got nasty. Like I said, there's a difference between clapping back and going too far, and we know Mrs. Portland already goes too far, right? We know this. But Natasha went too far with Mrs. Portland, and I understand she was grieving. But even when she's not grieving, she goes too far. She likes to body shame, just like, you know, people body shame Natasha. I get it. I don't agree with it. I've called it out. So for anybody thinking that I'm just going hard on Natasha, I have done videos about Natasha, okay, calling out some of her behaviors. But I've also stuck up for Natasha. When I think people have overstepped, okay, and done her wrong, I have called it out. I have called out when people have done her children wrong. All they have to do is go back and watch. I have called it out. Because I can call it out all the way around. I'm not like some of the other people, right? When I see it and I hear it for myself, then I can call it out. And I have stood up for Natasha quite a bit. Just for the people in the back, okay? Just saying. I have. I've stood up for both of her children. So anyways, moving along. We know that Natasha likes to make fun of people's looks. She likes to bully people. She likes to talk about their channels when she has a falling out with them. So she's talking about Noodle's channel, saying she built it off of Mrs. Portland. When Noodle came in, like I said, Natasha had an issue with Mrs. Portland. And Noodle was talking about, you know, because she knew Mrs. Portland from, you know, in real life. She went to school with her. She also lived by her as an adult later on. And she was talking about, you know, that she does have, you know, these issues and stuff. And sometimes, you know, she might not be able to help some of the things that she is doing. She was trying to explain to everybody in a nice way. And she was very nice about it. That's a fact. Noodle Mash still has her videos up. You can go watch them. So she also was doing her crafting and stuff like that. So anyways, when she says that Noodle Mash built her channel off of Mrs. Portland, I have to say, what did you build your channel off of, Natasha? I mean, creators build their channel off of something, right? Or somebody. With true crime, it's off of someone, most of the time, a tragedy. Somebody missing or somebody losing their life. Or like me, I talk about other behaviors, right? Or cheesy videos, crafting, whatever, stupid cooking videos, whatever. Some people do awareness on scamming or awareness off of people being bullies. Some people, you know, whatever. But people build their channels off of somebody or something, right? So who cares if that's what she was talking about to begin with? Seriously. And then she said if she would have stopped talking about Mrs. Portland, that it would stop. And I'm thinking to myself, are you kidding me? Seriously? If Noodle Mash would have stopped talking about Mrs. Portland, then Mrs. Portland would have stopped? How did that work out for you, Natasha? Because up until recently, Mrs. Portland was still bad-mouthing you continuously. And you would make videos clapping back at her. Now, granted, you would wait for a while. Okay. She would wait. And I got to give Natasha that. She didn't make, she wouldn't make videos all the time about Mrs. Portland. She would give it a little bit. But when Mrs. Portland would do video, community post about Natasha being vile, when Natasha came back at her, yeah, but a little bit below the belt, because she would come back hard, okay? Not like Noodle Mash does. She would come back hard. So when she said, you know, if you would have just stopped, Mrs. Portland would, Natasha wouldn't talk about Mrs. Portland at all. And Mrs. Portland kept going and going and going and going. So we know that's a lie. All right? Just saying. And then she made the comment, I bet you did bully Mrs. Portland in school. And Natasha, you know that's a lie. Because I am sure that Noodle Mash showed you her proof. Just like she showed everybody else. You know, that it was a lie about when the time frame of moving. You see all the lies that Mrs. Portland put out there. She lied about you as well. Okay? She said that you guys were all bullying her when you financially helped support her. She lied about how she left the community both times. And the video was out there where Mrs. Portland said that when she introduced Noodle Mash to her husband, she said, this is the one person that did not bully me in high school. And a lot of us seen that video. Okay? You didn't think any of this stuff about Noodle Mash when you were friends with her. Just like everybody else you had a falling out with. Everybody. You thought they were the greatest. They were awesome. They could sing. They knew how to do their makeup. Their channels were great. They were awesome people until you had the falling out. Then their channels sucked. Their makeup sucks. You never liked them. All of this stuff. And then your followers say the same thing. That's cult-like behavior. When your followers say the same thing, but yet they weren't saying that the day before you had the falling out, I'm sorry. The day before, they were saying, I love you. You sing great. Your makeup's great. Until the falling out. And then, I never liked you. I felt sorry for you. That's the only reason why I did this and did that, is I felt bad for you. Blah, blah, blah. Same story over and over. A lot of people said the same thing about Noodle Mash. We're going to expect the fallout. People that get close to Natasha, this always happens. She only has a few people, maybe a handful, I don't know, that has been with her maybe from day one. The rest, it's the same song and dance. And a lot of people said this from day one. Same thing's going to happen with Noodle Mash. They've said it. Okay? Because it always does with everybody. With everybody. And then she says the same thing about them. And then she gets really, really nasty. There can't be just walk away. Sorry, we're just going to go our separate ways. It can't happen that way. No, it can't. And people wonder why a lot of people are afraid. They're walking on eggshells. And she's like, oh, no, they're not. No, they're not. Bullshit. Sorry. Especially people that have put out there that they do have mental health issues. See, Natasha doesn't know about mental health issues. We'll get to that in a minute. So then she says, and you with your boring ass channel, talks about her channel being boring. Okay, so I'm going to address that. I'm going to address the boring channels. Everybody's channel is boring because, you know, in her eyes, if they're not screaming, I guess, or cussing or dragging people, because what content does Natasha have? I don't get it. Her content, there is no true crime, okay? There is none. Maybe a fragment here and there. I said it before, like on our Patreon. Nothing. People pay that membership for absolutely nothing. We'll talk about that on another video. Not going to get into that on this one. I talked a little bit about that on a previous video. But besides doing a makeup sale, okay, besides talking about funds all the time, and that is a fact. And we'll talk about that on the next video as well. She talks about money continuously and says everybody else is talking about the money. No, Natasha, you're the one that talks about the money and says what it is over and over and over again. But we're not going to get into that right now, okay? But the content that you have is dragging other people. So if somebody is talking about, if their channel is talking about one person, what is the difference? If somebody is talking about one person, or you talking and dragging everybody, 4, 5, 6 different people, what is the difference? But like I said, and cussing up a storm. I mean, I can cuss like a sailor. I just choose not to do it that much on social media. All right? What content do you do? I mean, you used to stream everybody. Okay? Well, I guess you still are. You stream other people, what, MRB? So besides the woe me, this is happening to me, this and that, I'm being harassed, you know, this or that, like I said, or this person is doing this person is doing that, this person's boring, this person's ugly, this person's, I'm not even going to say all the words because I said, you know, I'm going to try not to cuss. I only say little cuss words on my channel. But besides dragging people, what content is there? And then she wants to degrade her crafting. All right? She says her crafting is ugly. Ugly. Nasty. I'm not saying it word for word. Okay? But I'm sorry, but Noddle Mash is very talented. Now, I don't care if you don't like Noddle Mash or not. I'm putting out the truth. All right? Putting out some truths here. Like I said, I don't care if you like her or if you don't like her. The woman is talented. I could not do what she does. That is very tedious work that she does there. All right? And she's very talented. And while she's doing it, she's talking about, she might be talking about, you know, maybe some things that's going on, a little bit of drama, talking about mental health. I think more should be talked about mental health. A lot of people suffer from some sort of mental health issues. Okay? We know this. It's a fact. And if there's any, different coping skills to deal with it, that would be great. Some insight from people that do suffer. And I love it when creators are honest and they say, hey, I do suffer from this, and this is what I do to help me get through the day. And they put that information out there because you don't know who you might be helping, right? She's got talent. Just like other creators that do crafting, okay? And they put that, I mean, yeah, they'll talk about some drama, but they're doing crafting too. Or they might be doing some cooking while, on their channel as well. Or they're going out in nature and they bring that into their channel for content. What are you doing, Natasha? You say that you work so hard, that you built your channels and you work so hard at it. This is your brand. This is your business. This is your job, and you work so hard at it. Really? Sitting in a chair. Yes, I'm going to be mean. I am going to be mean. I'm going to say it, and I'm going to be mean. And I don't give a shit right now. Because she put down, again, this is a creator that's putting down someone with mental health because she talked about it. So I'm going there. I absolutely am. She said that she worked so hard, and she works so hard on her channels, and like I said, it's her business. What do you do besides sit in the recliner? Which I don't care if it's a recliner. I mean, a lot of creators sit in a chair. They do whatever. But you sit there and you drag people. How hard is that? What creative thing do you do? Seriously, how hard is it to sit there and be on your computer and talk for a few hours and drag whoever you can drag and talk about your funds and cuss up a storm? That's your content. That's a lot of hard work. Anybody can do that. Anybody. Okay? So yes, you talk, you're very funny at times, okay? You got an accent. When someone has an accent, I'm sorry, I love accents. Okay, I do. Especially people that have southern accents. My kids now, being in Tennessee, they have an accent. So when you have an accent, I'm sorry, you can hold people's attention. You really can. And she does have all these good comebacks, okay? You can tell she's been doing it for a while. So, yeah, she can hold people's attention. She can. But seriously, you have, like I said, you got creators that are being creative. They're bringing all this other stuff into their channel. Besides just dragging people, they're actually working to build their channel. They're doing things. They're getting out in nature. They're bringing that in because sometimes people need a little bit of a break, okay, from just the drama. Some people want to see people doing real life things, that they're real people, right? They want to see things. And they just need that little break from all the bashing and all the nastiness that is in this drama circle. And they like that. They don't like listening to just the bashing 24/7. They like that little break every now and again. Some people like the crafts. All right? once in a while to do with their kids, to make memories. Don't know if you know what that is. Don't know, okay? Doesn't seem like you ever done any crafts, Natasha. I don't know if you did with your kids or not, but you have bashed people that do crafts and say they're all ugly, okay? Her crafts are not ugly, and you know it. They're not stupid or whatever word you wanted to use. She's being creative, just like some other creators that you had to sink to a level. I know even with Scarlett writing a book, you said nasty things about her book. I have not read it. I don't, know much about Scarlett, but the thing is she did something creative. What have you done? What have you done? That's my question. What have you done? That's creative. I mean, you can say you raised a family. A lot of us have. You can say you worked outside of the home. A lot of us have. Okay? A lot of us still do. A lot of us still go out and do yard work and cut our own grass and pull weeds and cook dinner for our family and clean our own house and answer our own doors. Okay? Yeah, I could never imagine. As you can tell, a lot of times I have to put my video on pause because my dogs will be going off. Someone sometimes will come to the door. I get off my butt and I answer the door. All right? I could never imagine having my children wait on me hand and foot and get me this, get me that, get me this, get me that. I couldn't imagine it. Could not. That's when I tell my kids, put me in a nursing home. Put me in a nursing home if I'm going to act like that. I mean, even when I'm doing a pre-recorded video, if I was even on a live, when I get on a live, if I have to say, hey, wait a minute, I've heard a lot of creators say, hey, wait a minute, I got to go do something, okay? And they go do what they got to do and they come back. But anyways, moving forward, then she mentions about her cat. I mean, this is how low she's got to go. She said something about her cat getting up on something and it isn't cute. Well, we already can tell or already know that she's put it out there before that she doesn't care for animals or whatever. They've done studies that petting a cat, petting dogs, lowers the blood pressure. Maybe you should get one. Okay? And you always say that, it's nobody's business what you do. Why is it your business that her cat, or why does it bug you so much that her cat's up there? I mean, come on, really? That's what you're going to pick at her for? Is her cat? Seriously. I mean, I have fur babies. I got 2 cats, 3 dogs, and I tell you what. People always say, they've always said, don't trust people that don't like animals. I don't know. Don't know. And then she wanted to talk about her room being all messy or whatever. That's her craft room. Really? This is how low she was going about her craft room being messy. Well, not only that, Natasha, but Noodle Mash has already put it out there. She said that she's got disabilities. I believe she said she had arthritis really bad and that she does need help from her husband. and that he does help her out a lot. And, you know, they don't have all, you know, a ton of money coming in, and she doesn't yell at her children, do this, do that, do this, do that for me. And she doesn't have a paid cleaning lady that she's been paying for, what, 15 years or whatever, how many years? So it would be pretty easy to just sit there all day and do absolutely nothing if you had, you know, a paid cleaning lady and having your children doing everything for you, where you didn't have to get up and do anything. I know I should not be saying children. I shouldn't. I'm not talking about her kids, because people might want to twist it and say, oh my gosh, you're talking about her kids. No, I'm not. I'm not saying anything bad about her children. But it is clear that Natasha does not do anything at the home. Okay? She doesn't. She doesn't do the cooking. We know who does. I just heard tonight when she was doing her live, I was listening to the replay, she couldn't even get up and answer the door. She yelled for her adult daughter to go answer the door. She wouldn't even get up and do it. And she said it was her sinus medicine. But she yells for them to get her this and them to get her that. She doesn't even get up and get it herself. We know that she's got a cleaning lady. She says that she's paid one for, what, 15 plus years. We know she doesn't do her own outside work. Okay? We know this. She doesn't do it. She doesn't do any of this stuff that a lot of other people have to do. But she wants to talk about other people, what their crafting room looks like. You know, what they're having a cat come up and want to be up on the table, or so. It's a crafting table. Okay? Or wants to come up and be petted or whatever. So she was just digging into whatever she could dig into on Noodle Mash and how boring her channel is. And like I said, because, you know, Noodle Mash isn't cussing up a storm and degrading her or screaming at other people. So, and of course she's talking about her views. She's got to talk about everybody's views. Who gives a shit how many views people has? It's none of your business, is it? It really isn't. You say it's nobody's business how much money you get, but, you know, you're the one talking about it all the time. We're going to talk about that in the next video. But the reason why I'm doing this video is because she was talking about mental health. I'm sick of people putting out their mental health and using it as a crutch and blah, 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 blah. Again, somebody downgrading someone's mental health. That irritates the shit out of me. Okay? Because Natasha already put out there she didn't know about bipolar or mental health or any of this until, what, she was in her 30s? She didn't know about it because, you know, Natasha was lucky enough to have that, quote, nuclear family growing up. She had a regular childhood. She had a good childhood. You know, she had a great life. She had the big house. She had to go through a divorce. She worked. You know, she's got a man that takes care of everything. He literally does everything for her. I mean, she raised kids, but she wants to talk about, well, none of you guys know what it's like to walk in my shoes and what I go through on a daily basis on YouTube. Are you flipping kidding me? On YouTube? You don't know what it's like to go through shit on YouTube. How about real life struggles, Natasha? People that are dealing with mental health issues on a daily, okay? They've been struggling with it since childhood, adulthood, okay? And you said that Noodle Mash is not a survivor. Now, I don't know if she was talking about a survivor for you or from you, or a survivor, from what she has talked about. But you want to talk about people's mental health a lot, and that they use it as a crutch. She's talked about a lot of times having to, log off for her own mental health. Yes, a lot of people need to log off when they're having issues. They absolutely do. And a lot of them do. But see, Natasha doesn't know what it's like to have to deal with any mental health issues. She doesn't know, she already said she had no addicts in her family. She doesn't know what it's like. She doesn't know how to, what it's like to be around that. She lived a sheltered life. She didn't have to deal with domestic violence. She doesn't know about any of the real life stuff. Okay? Just YouTube shit. And then she talks about, all these people are harassing me and, real life stuff from YouTube. Well, maybe if you wouldn't put your business out there, put your family out there, your children out there, their faces, their names, and put every little detail about your life, and be so ugly to everybody, maybe you wouldn't get so much harassment. But are you really getting that much harassment? I'm sure you are getting some. I've seen some harassment that you're getting. But is it all real? Kind of like a lot of people are really digging into, that new vlogger that I did my one video on. I'm going to be doing another one on. She's new, and she blew up, overnight. But, back to this, a lot of people, a lot of people will cause or act like there's a lot of chaos going on to make their community feel really bad for those donations. I'm saying it. I'm going to say it. Now, I'm not saying that Natasha doesn't have her own struggles. Everybody has struggles, right? They have their own, their own things that they're dealing with. But she's the one that's putting it out there that she hasn't had this and she hasn't had that happen. Excuse me. Or this or that, She's lived a very nice, close-knit family, sheltered, basic, life. So she doesn't know what it feels like to deal with a lot of things that people deal with on a daily basis. But yet she wants to say, you don't know what it's like being in my shoes. Yeah, I put a little twang to that. She doesn't know what it's like to be in a lot of people's shoes. But she wants to sit and drag people and drag them and call them the most disgusting names. While a lot of her followers are cheering her on. And Noodle Mash is still, from what I've seen, not bashing her, not calling her foul names. And I don't get it. And I know Natasha said some more things about Noodle Mash. Okay, she did. Because Noodle Mash was doing a series, This Is What Caused It All, Part 1, Part 2 of Mean Girls. And I said that way back in my beginning videos. That's what it came to mind. Because, you know, back in Critical K, that's what I used to call them, the Mean Girls. That's the vibe I got. Well, Natasha took the crown when it comes to Mean Girls. That's my opinion. And, you know, the mental health stuff, that is what really triggers me, okay? It really does. People can't use it as an excuse to be vile and nasty to other people. Right? But also other people that don't suffer from it shouldn't degrade others that are dealing with it and want to talk about it and might want, you know, share their experience and help others that are dealing with mental health issues. And maybe share how to cope. Now, I've already said before that I don't suffer. I have panic attacks here and there. Okay? That's it. You know, maybe some depression. I did back when I was with my ex, you know, many moons ago. Maybe situation depression, you know, when life sucks here and there. You know, we all get a little bit depressed. But besides that, I don't have any of these issues. But a lot of people around me do. And I have a lot of empathy and compassion. And I'm an ear to listen to. Or I don't even know if I said that right. I'm really passionate right now. I'm really passionate right now about this. I am willing to listen to anybody that needs to talk. And maybe there should be more people out there like that instead of having their hands out. Gimme, gimme, gimme. That's the problem. In my opinion, Noodle Mash did not do anything wrong to Natasha, like a lot of people that left have not. Some have. Don't get me wrong. Some have. And yes, I do believe she has been harassed. Some. I do not believe that all this harassment is going on. Okay? I don't. And then she says that everybody should leave Mrs. Portland alone. She's doing her crafts. She's selling things. You know, it's nobody's business. That's absolutely true. Nobody should be saying, you know, if Mrs. Portland wants to sell her stuff, then that's absolutely fine. Okay? It is nobody's business. And the reason why, in my opinion, that Natasha is saying that is because of her getting money, you know, and what people might say about the way she gets money. Because she said the same thing about Mrs. Portland when she was selling her coloring pages, that her stuff was crap, she's charging too much for it, nobody should buy it, you know, blah, 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 blah. Because some of her community did send money for coloring pages, and she called it crap, that You know, it looked like a child did it. She even said that Mrs. Portland was stealing the stuff off of Google or whatever, or at least that's what Mrs. Portland said. I'm not sure if Natasha, I want to make that clear. I'm not sure if Natasha said for sure if it was, it's been a while ago. I'm not sure if Natasha said that. I do believe she did. But Mrs. Portland absolutely said that Natasha said it. It's been a while. But I do know that Natasha said it was crap. And, you know, made a big deal about it. You know, about her trying to sell her coloring pages. But now things kind of turned around because Mrs. Portland was in Natasha's chat, giving her info on another sub that was lied on. And we're going to talk about that in the next video. We are going to talk about, this is going to be the end on Noodle Mash. I know I went on for about an hour. In my opinion, Natasha did Noodle Mash wrong. Noodle Mash just wanted to leave the community, and just because she wants to chat in other chats, she should be allowed to, and not say, you know, nothing should be said about it. Let her go, let her be. She made a break. Okay? She wants to go elsewhere. She wants to do her channel. She wants to craft. She wants to talk about some drama. It is a drama community. That's what it is. She's got talent. She makes content. But she doesn't scream and yell. She doesn't sit there and degrade every single person and body shame every single person that's out there. So, that's the truth. It doesn't mean that her channel is boring because she doesn't do what Natasha does. I mean, that's why so many channels of Natasha's have went down. Because her mouth. I mean, let's just be honest. But on the next video, we're going to talk about how accusations on the wrong people. Again, you don't know how somebody's their mental status is, their mindset. I've talked about this before, how loyal they might be. You might not even know them, or even know that they're in your community. They might not even talk or chat, and they might think somebody is really harassing you, and you're putting blame on people, and how dangerous that can be. And then when you know that it's not them, but you let your whole community believe it is, yeah, that's not right. That is not right at all. And then you even say, oh, I knew it wasn't them, and I just let it go on. We're going to talk about that in the next video, and talk about is some things maybe not in the up and up. Is some things maybe could we maybe call it fraud? Maybe. That's what we're going to talk about in the next video. So until then, we'll talk to you later.